Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The New World. And in today's video, after the recent #1 overall pick, Cooper Flagg, and seed of Bronny James Jr., headline on ESPN in today's Summer League game, we discussed the well-anticipated and highest-selling Summer League game of all time. But before we go any further, make sure to hit that subscribe button and help us on the road to 10K subs. Hit that like button if you enjoy the content, and make sure to share this video as well. And comment your thoughts on Cooper Flagg's debut game, and if you think Bronny has improved after a season under his belt. And if you haven't, check out our recent videos where we discuss the future of LeBron James after his agent's comments on his future as a Laker, as well as our video discussing our hometown team, the Memphis Grizzlies, as their offseason moves puts the stars of the franchise on trade watch. And lastly, our discussion on this summer's free agency moves as we discuss who took a win, a L, or look like idiots. I'm looking at the Golden State Warriors. Now fellas, what are your thoughts on Cooper Flagg's debut game, and have you seen improvements from Bronny James after a year under his belt?
Okay, this is a fantastic topic. It's really just perfect timing because let's just give a little bit of lore on the channel. So people that have been watching our channel, we've been going at this for about a little bit over a year, and we became a little bit more prevalent when we made a few videos about Bronny James, just documenting how ass he was last year and how a lot of that hype and love and adulation he was getting was not deserved because of a definition that I'm pretty sure before Bronny James became prominent, people didn't even know what this word meant, but nepotism. A lot of people have added that to their vocabulary. But with the channel, that's really kind of how we got our start. So we always pay a close attention to Bronny James, and we've been paying attention to his development over the course of the season. I would not be doing my job if I were to say that Bronny James hasn't improved. He has definitely improved. I think that he's taken more ownership on the defensive end, and he's been able to be a little bit more adequate offensively due to him being more comfortable, especially with the competition that he is playing against. I think that's very, very important to acknowledge. I think that Bronny James is a comfort player. He's not a confident player unless he builds up reps. So the people that he's playing against in the Summer League are akin to some of the niggas he's been playing against in the G League. So he's comfortable, like first few plays of the game, he comes up off of a screen and gets a mid-range. It looked easy. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I could see a competent basketball player doing. Is that shit gonna work in the NBA? Probably not. But in the G League level, Summer League level, it worked. He shot a three right in Cooper Flagg's eye. It was wet. You know what I'm saying? So he's proven to me that on the G League level, he can be a good prospect. Because before then, I basically was saying that there was going to be a struggle for him. He proved me wrong on that aspect. I can acknowledge that. So, kudos to Bronny James. He's been a lot better than I thought he was going to be. But, ladies and gentlemen, the bar was very, very low. So I think that what we can say is that Bronny James is better than Marcus Jordan. I give him that. I give him that. I give you that, Bronny James. You're better than Marcus Jordan. So maybe that makes LeBron James Sr. the GOAT. I don't know. LeBron James is better than Marcus Jordan, but that ain't saying shit. Now, let's move on to a more interesting topic, shall we? And this is where I'm really just going to kind of go back and forth with you guys about it. It's time to have a serious conversation about Cooper Flagg. Not saying that he's not great, but acknowledging that he may not be the best prospect in this draft. I think that that's something that people can say it's early, but I feel like we've seen some signs of some other prospects to make this a little bit more of a take that we can stand on that can have some merit. And I understand that this is Cooper Flagg's first game, but I saw some things from his mechanics standpoint from shooting the basketball that I did not like. And I don't think that that's something that could be improved upon throughout the season. I think that that's something that you got to get in the lab and work on in the off season. And that's where I want to ask Buffy. I know you weren't able to catch the whole game, but you've kind of been able to see more Cooper Flagg in his collegiate career. So some of these things about his shooting mechanics, how do you feel about that? Because he was terrible. He couldn't make anything. His three-point was off badly. And it looked like the opposition was giving him those shots and he was taking them. Also, I think Cooper Flagg was about 5 of 21 from the floor this game, so he shot terribly. And one thing that I saw, and I know it's summer league, so Cooper Flagg was just jacking up shit, and that may be something that we see throughout the season because we're not gonna have Kyrie Irving. But that was something I didn't know. I was like, okay, he's confident. He's taking a lot of shots. But you're the number 1 overall pick. He just wasn't able to see the ball go through the net. And I think a lot of that was stuff from a technical perspective. So I want to get your thoughts on that game.
Yeah, I think, and I do kind of want to reiterate this to the viewers out there, but I did not see the entire full game of this, so I don't want to come off as being a nerd of what actually happened. I didn't see the full game. I actually spent some time with my father actually, but I did see a good portion of the game, and yeah, my concerns kind of came to light. Really, the only major flag game is his shooting ability. That's the big red flag. And in a previous video, I think it was a video we did on Ace Bailey, I think I mentioned that my draft comp for him was Scotty Barnes with a nicer handle and Orr, and
you do got Orr.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad comparison. I think if he can, I think his ceiling is Jason Tatum. If he can get there, but Jason Tatum had a better shot coming out of Duke that I don't think Cooper Flagg has. Now, Cooper Flagg is like a generational defender. I will give him that. He's like a generational defender. He has size, length, can rebound, put a body on these guys, mobile, long arms. He has a size, but he is kind of missing that offensive ability. And I originally saw it when he played in high school, because I watched his high school clips, and I remember seeing one when they was playing against VJ Edgecomb's team. And when I was watching the highlights, because you're watching high school clips, it's not like you're watching film of the actual game, so they're just showing you clips and then going back and showing you other clips and highlights. So I was watching the game and I didn't really see Cooper Flagg do that much scoring. That was outside, I'm not talking about layups, dunks, but outside I didn't see that much outside scoring.
I wanted to add one more thing. His off-the-ball game is non-existent. He doesn't really have an off-ball game. It's really just him trying to go ISO with everything is out of the triple threat, and it was kind of hard to watch. I felt like it was like some this is going to sound really bad, but some YouTuber basketball shit, one-on-one shit, where niggas are just at the top of the key, jab step. I guess Cooper Flagg thinks he's Carmelo Anthony, but he's doing it from the three-point line. So it looked weird to me, and maybe that's because it's his first game, so they didn't have any designated plays for him. But I just saw a lot of bullshit offensively in terms of just his approach to the game. And I'm not gonna put that much on him because it probably is just because it's his first game.
Yeah, well, I do think with these players nowadays, off ball, it's kind of, I think people kind of overrate how important the off-ball game is important to being a star. If Cooper Flagg is as good as he's projected to be, he was drafted number 1 overall. This was a pretty good draft class compared to last year at least. Then if he's a star player, he can kind of get away with not having an off-ball game. Now for sure it helped, but I'm not really watching the summer league game. Straight Cooper Flagg do anything off the ball. So that's one thing. But I am glad he shot chucked. Even though the shot wasn't going, he shot 5 for 21. Get those shots up, man, so you get more familiar with this. Because one thing I will say is people that's overreacting on social media, Victor Wembanyama shot 3 or 13 in his first game. So it's and I'm not saying he's Victor Wembanyama, but overreacting to one game of the summer league is kind of, I feel like a lot of people do that. Now, it is important to watch footage and be like, hey, this man's flaws, needs to work on this coming into the league. But Cooper Flagg is coming out into, I want to say respectfully, one of the best situations the number 1 overall draft pick has came out to. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine in this scenario that he's in. Of course, Kyrie Irving's going to be out for this season. I think he said in a Twitch stream that he was waiting till he was 1,000% back, which really means for the injury he has, he's not going to be back for the season. But Anthony Davis, he's probably gonna play half the season. So they're gonna be around an 8 to 10 seed, kind of what they were last year, in my opinion, just based off projection, because the Western Conference is so difficult. But I think this is a really good scenario for Cooper Flagg to go to. I will say he let Bronny James guard him a little too much in that game. Bronny James is kind of an underrated defender. He has great physicals, which is like, it's A1, especially if you're a small guard in the
His
league.
defense was really good tonight. I can't count.
Yeah, when he locks in, he's a good defender. Now, sometimes sometimes you can tell in certain games. Like I remember last year in the summer league, his focus was kind of all over the place. Like he wasn't really attached. But I think these two players, they kind of went into this summer league game knowing that, hey, this is the most marketable. This is going to be the most highly viewed summer league game of the season and probably ever. So it's like we need to treat this like an actual matchup. And I think Bronny James actually took that matchup and kind of surprised me. He didn't shoot well, of course, which I don't think Bronny James is going to be. Bronny James can be a solid role player off the bench. I think that would be pretty good for him. Not necessarily a 3-and-D guy, because I think we throw around that term 3-and-D like too.
There you go.
Like Bronny James, okay, he may have the D, but he does have the 3.
Nah, he don't got the 3.
He don't have the 3 at all. So I think we throw that around too much. Probably need to come out with another term than 3-and-D. But yeah, this was an interesting game. I'm probably gonna rerun it because I missed a lot of the game. Because honestly, bro, like I hate watching the summer league because it's like you're only really watching for a couple players, and everybody else, they kind of want to prove that they can make it on the NBA team. People just start taking selfish shots. Like watching Ace Bailey the other night, like they froze that guy out. He was spotted up in the corner, like for like 50% of the game. And I'm like, dog, Ace Bailey's better than everybody on this court. But we're like treating him like he's, we're treating him like this is NBA 2K, and we're playing duos, and he's one of the centers. We're just going to run like a point guard center lineup and just have the center out in the corner and let the point guard do whatever he wants to do. That's what we're treating Ace Bailey like. So, Summer League is kind of, I watched him, I saw something on social media that said Summer League, that's real hoops. Summer League, I live to watch Summer League. I'm
that's a lot of bad basketball being played in the Summer League.
Bad basketball being played. Like, that's baffling to me. So.
Oh, I did want to say this before you wrap up and before Jay get to it about Bronny James. Is I had a good feeling that he was going to perform really well in the Summer League just off of some of like his commentary. Of course, we've seen him get better like within the G League, of course, like putting up crazy numbers in the G League. But when he came out there and said, I know I'm not going to be a 10 to 15 point guy, my focus should be on defense. I was like, okay, he understands now what he is. Because I think last year, niggas were gassing him up, and it was really just out of just pure delusion the way people were gassing him up, like talking to him about like he was his first round draft pick or how like he was gonna be this star. It's like, no, everybody deep down knew that wasn't the case, even his biggest fans. What I think is clearly evident is that he has LeBron James' genetics. He's an athletic freak, especially to be 6'1", 6'2". He can be a really good defender. I think that when you embrace what you are, then your ceiling rises because you focus on those skills. Bronny James focuses on being the best defender he can be, and then it's just adding in shooting, because that's what we're talking about when we talk about 3-and-D, just being able to hit open shots. He will have a long NBA career. And that's what his ceiling is, because even though he has good physicals, you're only 6'1", 6'2". You don't have the point guard IQ. So there's a cap on how great you can be. You're not going to be Steph Curry from shooting. You don't have that scorer mentality. So there's a cap on what you can be. So based on your physical limitations, what can you be? And I think that if he can just, he has gotten it early. This is what I am. That's why I don't really have any harsh critique on Bronny James. I mean, based on what Bronny James actually do and Cooper Flagg is actually do, Bronny James outplayed him. Now, that's in a vacuum, but that was just based on my observation of watching the game. And that's also with Bronny James being an actual sophomore. Cooper Flagg is 18, hasn't done shit in the league at all. So we knew that this was gonna be, he wasn't gonna have a good game. We knew that. And like Buffy said, there was some good stuff defensively too. He is gonna be a pretty good defensive player off the bat, especially being paired with AD. He gonna be fine defensively. It's just the shooting, which I think that people are gonna be surprised at how poorly he shoots this year, because shooting mechanics, Buffy, is not something that you can fix during the season. That's off-season work. Yeah,
that was kind of also one of my other points when I was talking about the off ball. if you get a player kind of, and I'm not saying he treat him like Ben Simmons, but if you get a player who's not really a good shooter, what you can do is that you can just have them bring the ball to the court so they aren't fucking up the spacing, because you're gonna have like Anthony Davis, who, let's be honest, Anthony Davis outside shots kind of left him. Like he's more of a interior kind of player.
Should have left him after the bubble.
Yeah, so it's gonna collude the spacing. So I think they have Cooper kind of run that point forward role for Dallas. I think that would work wonders for him. Also, my last point before I hand this off to Jay is I think amidst all this superstar hype between, honestly, these are superstar names. If you really want to be honest, between Bronny James and Cooper Flagg, I thought the most interesting matchup was like the whole Nembhard kid. He was balling. Like,
he nice.
Yeah, I don't know what they got over there, them Nembhard boys, but them boys are cold. Like, they get up in you, they can shoot those mid-range shots.
Well, I think they were saying something about his dad is like some type of executive over Ontario basketball. They got basketball lineage in their veins.
Yeah, I can tell because they're like natural born hoopers. So.
Yeah, man. This game was highly anticipated. I kind of had some expectation for at least Cooper Flagg. Especially after seeing that Jason Kidd said he was gonna start Cooper Flagg at the one spot because he was playing against Bronny. I thought that was hilarious.
A lot. That may be going to what CJ was saying about how we may see some of that in the regular season. Him being point forward.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't mind that. He can definitely play a point forward role. But Cooper Flagg, first game debut. He's young. I can definitely see that he was taking advantage of that green light. He shot 5 of 21. But I mean, I ain't gonna lie, that jumper, it's not there right now. It's gonna take some time. But I was saying this off camera. I didn't necessarily think that this season was gonna be one where Cooper Flagg was gonna take over. I think this is just gonna be one where he's kind of the, I guess you could say, glue guy or whatever. But I did say in the Ace Bailey video, I was like, Cooper Flagg, he's kind of like that Swiss Army knife. But right now, I ain't gonna lie, that knife kind of dull. He gonna have to do some things to sharpen it up. But for now, he's also in a really great spot. Playing with AD, so he can definitely get that shot right, at least around the interior before the outside. Also off camera, in our group chat, Buffy has said that Cooper Flagg jump shot was looking like 2K13 Westbrook, so we might need to throw a little side by side comparison in the video. But yeah, Cooper Flagg, he's young, 18. A lot of guys when they debut in the summer league, they don't have good games. I mean, Ace Bailey, he had a bad shooting night as well, and then he bounced back the next game with an efficient night. So going this next game, Cooper Flagg, hopefully we'll see him play Saturday. And hopefully we see him play up against, Dylan Harper, because I don't think Dylan Harper's debuted yet, unless he might not be playing at all. But, a bounce back game, I'm pretty sure he'll be due for one. But it's the summer league. People shouldn't be taking this to heart too much. I've been seeing on my Twitter timeline a whole lot of crazy shenanigans going on, and it's kind of hilarious. But like I said, it's a summer league game. The brother's 18. He hasn't played in like a high level 5-on-5 game since the Final Four, I would assume. So yeah, but I also do like how the announcers was kind of breaking down, the problem with his shot mechanics, and they were talking about how when he shoots it off his pinky, so it's kind of like he's pushing it to the side. So I like that breakdown as well. But yeah, that would be something he'll have to develop on. Like I said, he's 18, so he's got plenty of time. And he's in a great spot with a lot of Hall of Fame players. So, he's got Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. But, going on to the Lakers, Bronny James, at the beginning of that game, he tapped into that Braun for all, 25% of that Braun for all. Like, he tapped into that, bro. Bronny, he was locking up on defense.
They've been maxed out offensively on like the first 2 plays of the game.
Yes, bro.
I was like, oh, is Bronny finna have a nice little 20 piece? Because then we really gonna have to talk.
Yeah, because he went. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of crazy that they took him out because he was start off the game hot. He's being aggressive. He's getting to the free throw line. Then he was locking up on defense. I'm like, okay, he tapped into that Bron fraud for real. But yeah, Bronny, I really like how he's grown as a professional. He said, like Bardo said, Bronny mentioned that, he knows he's not a guy that'll be, scoring 10 to 15 points a night, and he knows how to take advantage on defense. And this game definitely shows. So we can definitely see that he's got more confident playing in the NBA. And I think it'll definitely show. I did see from the Athletic that they said they think the Lakers will probably move on from Bronny if LeBron James were to leave. So I don't know how that'll go, but I think his confidence, I know it's kind of crazy. But I think the confidence is there. I'm actually excited to see more Bronny, throughout this summer league. Like I said, we know he can fly. We know he got Bron genetics, but honing in on that defense, it looked like it would work really well for him. I agree with Buffy. I think he can be a solid role player. But somebody else on the Lakers, he's playing like a little bit of dog water. Dalton. I'm looking at you, sir. Yo. I ain't gonna lie, Dalton. Hey, Dalton, you might need to pack. You might need to pack them bags up, buddy. Because what's that boy? Cole. What was his name? Cole Swindler or something? I ain't gonna lie, bro. Your spot took. Dalton Connect, your spot took by that boy. Cause he was shooting that thing, and he been shooting that thing all summer league. 6'8" forward. I ain't gonna lie, Dalton, you gonna have to pack them bags up, dog. And Darius Bazley was hooping too. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Lakers might be moving on from him again. And it might be permanent this time.
I don't think any of those guys are NBA. Well, the Swindler guy, I haven't seen a whole lot of him.
Well, they might be on the roster, but I ain't gonna lie.
Bazley is not an NBA player. He's not.
Yeah, they took him first round last year. You gonna give up on him that fast?
Bro, I haven't seen anything. But this.
He averaged like 13 and 7 in playing in his time in Oklahoma.
That's cool. But one thing I will say about Don Connect, I've hinted at this when we discussed him previously about how JJ Redick killed his confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, if this video does really well, we will make a video about Don Connect, and we'll give you guys a deep nuance insight about what went wrong with him. Because I'm going to go ahead and say this so that we can build some anticipation for that video. Don Connect is done in LA, and JJ Redick might have killed him.
I absolutely agree. It looks bad, man.